Hello guys, welcome to Cres, an island in Croatia. We have rocks, we have very suspicious roads, and we have a billion jellyfish in those waters, so great signs for photography. And yeah, so far it's been great. I mean, when we came here we decided to drive through the night, so I was coming off like 10 hours of driving in darkness, and then we took a ferry during sunrise, which was pretty, and then I thought, once I'm on this island I'm not going to do anything, I'm just going to go to bed. But no, like 15 minutes later I was out there battling the elements for some pictures of the sunrise, so that's that. pretty excited to see what I'm going to be able to do here. We have a nice location lined up later. Want to photograph some sunsets, the sun's setting right back there, so really nice with the water, and then these mountains should be pretty cool. And of course a lot of beer, which they have pretty good one here actually. So follow along.
So as I've already shown you guys, right on the first day we had some great luck with the sunset, and that gave me an idea. I wanted to try and take a picture like this but bring a tripod so I could do a long exposure, so I could have the sunset and then some movement in the water in front. So whenever I saw that the clouds and the sun looked nice for a potential good sunset, I grabbed my camera gear and usually a can of beer and I went to the beach. And my first attempt didn't go very well. For a few days we had these boats in front of our campground, which I thought would look nice, but I forgot to consider that if I'm doing a long exposure, then not only is the water gonna move, but the boats are also gonna move, and now they just look like kind of a blurry mess and I don't really like it. Also there was some sort of weird lantern that cast this weird light on this rock up here. And in the moment I thought that that might look pretty nice, but now that I'm home and looking at this, doesn't look great, I don't like it, get it out of here. The second attempt already went way better, at least I didn't make any obvious errors, but the light wasn't as good as I was hoping, so, you know, kind of nice, but nothing great. Still had a great time though, of course. Now on the third attempt I got absolutely blessed. Look at this sunset, look at these pictures, I mean, conditions were just perfect. Yeah, that was a very cool experience. Anyways, I still have some film left to shoot, so let's get to that. So of course I'm recording this voiceover once I'm home, and I've been home for about 2 weeks now. I've had to wait for the film to be developed, edit my pictures, and now I'm editing this video and recording this voiceover, and I'm having such a great time. Watching these videos I recorded, watching these pictures, it's so great, it brings up many great memories. It almost feels like I already started to forget this trip, even though it just happened. And that's why I'm kind of glad I'm making these videos, you know, it can feel kind of counterintuitive sometimes. This is supposed to be a family vacation, something to relax, something to recover from everyday life, and when making these videos I tend to put a lot of pressure on myself. Of course I want to make this video good, but I put pressure on myself to record enough footage, to record enough good footage, to record enough good pictures. It just adds pressure and kind of a work element to something that's meant to be super relaxing, and it sometimes feels weird. But right now, while editing this, I remember that I'm not just doing this to upload it to social media. And I mean, these videos usually get the least views on my channel. They usually don't do well. There isn't really any topic to this video. There isn't any tips that I could give you. There isn't anything super impressive that I'm showing you. It's just kind of some memories I've made, and it's not something that usually do super well on YouTube. But I need to remind myself that uploading this video isn't the best part about making it. I always watch my own videos, usually a few months or even a few years after making them. Watching my own older videos is a great way to remember things I've done, things I've seen. I like to watch my own videos just as memories, and having a video like this where I actually put in the effort to make it as good as I can make it and to actually make it look nice, and I hope you guys are enjoying it as well. It's just something where I really feel like this video is going to be something that I'm going to return to often, that I'm going to watch often, and that I'm really going to use to remember this trip. And I think that's a great thing, because it does really feel hard to remember things like this. You know, as I said, I already feel like I'm starting to forget this trip even just 2 weeks after it happened. My brain is getting bombarded with so much information every day. Since returning home, so many things have happened in the world and in my life. There's so many bad news every day. It almost feels like this trip already happened like a year ago, and I can barely remember most of the details. But now editing this video really reminds me that that's why I want to do more of this. That's why I like making these videos. Not just as a way for me to get some views on YouTube, but really as something, turning an experience I've had into a video I'm proud of, that I'm gonna watch over and over again in the coming years, as a way to remember it, and also just as a way to kind of feel proud of things I've done and things I've seen, and just remembering what happened. And I hope you guys are enjoying it as well. As I said, I don't expect many people to see this video, but that doesn't really matter. I'm gonna see it, and that's the most important thing.
You guys might know that we like talking about camera gear on this channel, so let me run you through what I'm working with here on this trip. Okay, well, can my headphones go away? We have the Canon AE-1 for all of my film photography needs. Then we have the Olympus VR320 for all of my digicam needs, which I'm actually really glad that I brought this. Last time when I went kind of traveling like this, I didn't even bring a digicam because I didn't really know what I would do with that camera there. But this time I brought this mainly because I'm looking to create some footage for an upcoming video I'm working on about why buying a camera like this is maybe a better option than buying a lot of these like scammy dropshipping products you get advertised on Instagram, these like new retro cameras, which is kind of unnecessary if you have something like this, and I wanted to grab some pictures and videos here with this camera to prove it. So that's why I brought this, but even without this video, I'm really glad that I did, because I've been taking some great pictures with this camera. No editing, no nothing, just if I see some nice light or shadow somewhere, I take a quick snapshot and the pictures turn out great right out of the camera. So I'm really glad that I brought this. Just been encouraging me to take some nice kind of everyday snapshots as well. Then of course we have the Sony ZV-E10, main digital photography camera, video camera. Talked about it a lot. Not the most fun camera to use compared to something like this, but it's just nice and secure. I back up all of my pictures at the end of the day on my laptop, and I just know that all of the picture I want to get here on this island exist and turned out nice, so that's great. And then of course my phone for any shots where you can see this camera in the video. Of course some camera needs to take that video. Damn rocks. not easy to walk. Well, in terms of film photography, I don't really have any idea what I'm doing. I used to have an idea. I wanted to shoot that new Leica film that just got released, Leica Monopan 50. Wanted to shoot that here, make a video about that. I had a pre-order going on that film. It was released 3 days before we left for this trip, and I was hoping my shipment would arrive in time so I could shoot that film here. I think it would have been pretty cool with those rocks and stuff, but no, I didn't get it, so now I kind of don't know what I'm doing. Brought some Kodak Gold, some Kodak Colorplus that I'm just shooting for this video, just taking some pictures, as well as I have my first roll of respooled Kodak Vision 3 that I'm ever gonna shoot on this trip. So decided to do that instead. Film-res Cosmo 250D precisely is what I'm gonna shoot, and I'm hoping to make that into a separate video. And I think another thing that's worth mentioning in terms of film photography is that I've really been in kind of a film photography slump recently. Really my motivation to do film photography has kind of vanished, and the reason for that is just the post-processing. I would say, like, shooting film is great, taking the pictures is great, everything that comes after that is kind of annoying, you know, getting the film developed, paying for that, getting the film scanned, or in my case scanning it myself. And followers of the channel will know kind of the where I live, there isn't really any like actual great film labs around. So what I'm doing is I get my film developed at a local drugstore, which is kind of the only option I have available really, and also fairly cheap compared to what you would pay for other kind of services. But the problem is the scans I get have a resolution less than Full HD, like the scans of the films less than the resolution of my videos, so there isn't really, they just look ass. So what I've been doing is I get the film developed there, but then I scan it myself with a macro lens, doing the conversion myself, turning the film negatives into positives in Affinity Photo 2, which works alright. Like, the results are decent, but I found it really hard to get accurate colors and kind of get the look of each film stock kind of accurate, and sometimes locations just turn out looking completely different than they actually did, just because I don't really have that kind of professional software or gear for film scanning. I'm doing everything myself manually, which also takes a long time, but that's not really the problem. But the results are also just very inconsistent. So that's why I really didn't want to shoot too much film recently, and even for this trip I debated on whether or not I should even pack like multiple rolls of film or whatever, because I'm not too happy with the results I've been getting lately, and so I didn't really want to shoot film. But what I decided to do for this trip is take the step that I never did want to take, which is mailing my film off to a film lab. That's gonna cost a lot more in terms of the development, also getting the film there. That's why I never really wanted to do it, but I think it's kind of necessary for me to really want to shoot film here, because I want the results to be good from this really amazing location. And I think the way that I'm gonna achieve that is just paying a bit more to get my film to a actual professional, like good lab, and get good scans made. They're gonna have the software necessary to get the look accurate, and gonna have good scans. And I think that's just gonna need to be done for this trip. I don't know if that's something that I'm gonna do like for all the film I shoot. It's for sure not gonna be, because it would just be like at least double the price of what I paid right now, which is crazy. More like 3 times the price really. But yeah, I thought it would be worth a mention, and if the pictures in this video look better than they usually do on my channel, that's why. But yeah, I think it's necessary, otherwise I wouldn't really have wanted to shoot film here, because I don't think I would have been able to really get the look accurate. Although when working with a lot of blue like this, it's pretty easy, because my film turns out really blue anyway. So I think this shot I would have been able to scan myself and do a good job. But yeah, I just didn't want to risk it, especially if I want to do maybe some sunrise, sunset type of stuff where the light is like yellow or whatever. I can't do that.
Anyways, with that, let's get back to some more video footage and digital photography. And in case those digital pictures also look different than they usually do, that's because I'm actually using another software to edit them. You might know that so far I always edited my RAW files in Affinity Photo 2, but there's just some things I'm kind of missing there. It's a pretty good software, especially for the price, but there's just some things I was missing there. So right now I'm testing the software on One Photo Raw for editing my digital photography. It's just another photo editing software that's available for a one-time purchase and not Adobe, so that's all of my criteria met. But I haven't fully figured out yet how I want to edit my pictures in that software, so I might go back and re-edit some of those pictures later down the line when I know a bit more about how to use that software and which functions I want to use, which effects I want to use. Well, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching the video. As I said, I don't really expect many people to be watching this, but I'm gonna watch it, so that's fine. But if you enjoyed it, do all of the classics, like the video, subscribe to the channel to see more. I have 2 more videos coming up from this trip, as I already kind of teased earlier. So if you want to see those, subscribe to the channel and stay tuned. And maybe you know somebody who would like this video, so send it their way. And I'm gonna have my outro screen here, so the playlist on top is gonna be my travel playlist with some of the other trips I've been on recently, and below that I'm gonna have my film photography playlist in case you want to see some more of my film photography. I will see you in the next video, hopefully next week if I can edit it fast enough, and goodbye, have a nice day.